quarterback.
Oh, there's a goal!
Let's see, the cap is going down, yet contract demands are going up, and there are plenty of RFAs still to be brought under a banner. Yeah, this could be getting ugly and fast. If there's any consolation prize for those of us about to cringe at the term being handed out like candy, at least the resale market for tickets isn't experiencing incredible markup. You can thank SeatGeek for that. SeatGeek keeps the market honest by sorting all available tickets for sale on their app to get you the best bang for the buck. It aids the consumer by sorting all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 100 scale. The app will give you a view from where you'll be sitting, and your tickets are scannable at the gate from it. To start, use the code word TREE in the link below to save $20 off of your first purchase. It's all thanks to the power of SeatGeek. Now, how many contracts will these teams be regretting in a few years? The big three this offseason were all from the Blue Jackets, thanks to their quest for an all-in push. Artemi Panarin was the obvious big fish. Game-changing talent, dynamic player, potential face of a franchise. The price tag was at a premium to begin with, plus his desires for the big city life eliminated a few suitors by default. At the end of the day, the bread man will be taking his talents to Manhattan. Panarin is a New York Ranger for 7 years at an $11.6 million cap hit. That's lavish. It's even scarier that he left more money on the table from both the Jackets and the New York Islanders. Remember though, it's the price of July 1st and it's a premium product. The Rangers rebuild has taken a shot in the arm not only because of this, but by drafting Capo Caco and acquiring Jacob Trouba via trade from the Jets. And all that cost was Neil Pionk and 2 months of Kevin Hayes. Not gonna lie, I'm impressed. If they get goaltending, they should be in playoff contention this year. The next big piece was Matt Duchene. One of the top rentals on the market was looking for big money as well. The main team that was linked with him for a while, Nashville. The problem, they didn't have the cap space to sign him. The easy fix for them was trading PK Subban. It may have been a weak return made solely for said cap space, but the Preds were ready for some big game hunting. It was a match made in heaven. Kinda. A 7-year deal at an $8 million cap hit. Am I the only one that thinks this is a weird fit? To me, Nashville's biggest issue is coaching. The people behind that god-awful power play last year, they're still here. And you just traded one of your top power play quarterbacks to sign a guy you hope doesn't fit as poorly as Kyle Turris. Good luck, boys. Maybe my doubts will be nothing and you'll finally get over the hump. The final prize was Sergei Bobrovsky. He was head and shoulders the best goalie on the market. It's rare that a Vezina Trophy winner reaches this stage, but there's always someone desperate for such a prize. In this case, it's Florida. They suffered some bad goaltending last year, and Bobby Lou chose to hang them up after a season of painful decline. They even traded James Reimer to clear up more cap space. Some of their signings were reasonable. Noel Acciari and Brett Connolly, good value for their respective positions. Then you get to Anton Strawman. $5.5 million for 3 years for a guy on the back end of his career? You're not getting prime Strawman, you know that? I'd bitch more, but then there's Bobrovsky's contract. 7 years, $70 million. Holy shit. Florida is getting really desperate. Dale Talon knows his job is in the shit if he fails this year, so he's throwing everything but the kitchen sink to keep it, regardless of long-term impact. I'd say goodbye to Hoffman and Dadonov if I were you, Florida. As for Columbus, well, you experienced the off-season pains of going all in with very few of the rewards. You're a team once again in a transition phase thanks to losing 3 of your best players, and your team president fleeing for the Rangers as well. For your troubles in participating, you get a consolation prize and a moderately priced Gustav Nyquist. It's not helping much, is it? Well, too bad. Another team feeling the hurt is the New York Islanders. Not only being scorned by their star-crossed lover Panarin as well, they had a lot of free agents to sign. Some they had succeeded in, but they had to pay up for them. Brock Nelson paid too much, and Jordan Eberle paid rather reasonably. Robin Lehner spurning them as well for another 1-year deal in Chicago. Anders Lee was the huge need, though. Their captain and heart and soul was able to be brought back, but at a relatively steep 7x7 contract. If he keeps up production, this shouldn't kill them that much, but it's what the market commands for a guy of his talents. You did get Semyon Varlamov to replace Lehner, though. Hopefully he pans out with that term. San Jose was another team that felt the hurt. Injuries cut their playoff run short, and now they have serious dilemmas at their doorstep. Many big free agents to sign or let go of RFAs expecting a payday. The choice was clear. Choose Joe Pavelski or Erik Karlsson. They couldn't afford both. It's in this moment that Doug Wilson has seemingly gone mad thanks to consistent failure to win the cup. The Sharks chose to keep Erik Karlsson. At $11.5 million per year for 8 years? For a guy that hasn't been healthy in the past 2 seasons? Dude, why were you the idiots that gave him dowdy money? Physically, he's looked like a shell of what he was, and I love Erik Karlsson as a player. So now you've lost Pavelski and others for an extremely high-risk gamble. At least the Timo Meier contract looks like an excellent deal. Dallas, on the other hand, has chosen a different kind of risky approach, by getting significantly older. The main prize for them is the aforementioned Joe Pavelski. Hopefully will be a jolt to the leadership of the organization, plus put up premium numbers for the next 3 years, $7 million per. Next, we have two low-risk, high-reward buys. Andrei Shakera and Corey Perry. Both signed for 1 year at $1.5 million. Both have been wrecked by injuries, but if they can in any way return to their once great form, it will be a bargain. Not gonna lie, it's going to look really weird seeing Corey Perry in another uniform. Their in-division foe Minnesota also fancy themselves as competitive, despite missing the playoffs and a wave of terrible moves made by Paul Fenton. Regardless of situation, the Wild are still trying to gun for their traditional first-round playoff elimination no matter the cost. A speculative buy on Ryan Hartman to start, bringing back Eric Stahl for another 3 years. There was Phil Kessel sticking his nose out at you by exercising his no-trade clause, that's too bad, but you get a one-up on Dallas by signing Matt Zuccarello. At $6 million per year for 5 years, it's not a bad contract. I think Zook will keep it up as you signed him to a no-movement clause for the first 3 years. You do realize there's another expansion draft coming, right? Did you not learn by how you guys got burned by Vegas? Yeah, I think Paul Fenton isn't exactly cut out for this whole GM gig. Dude might be reaching meme territory. Vegas, you may have been fucked over by fake rules and your own incompetence, but you had a huge objective in re-signing William Karlsson. A guy like him should be kept around for a while, and you did that by signing him for 8 years at $6 million per year. A solid contract, very neatly done, no pitfalls to speak of. Oh, right, the cap hell, I forgot about that. Time to sell off Eric Holla and Colin Miller to get out of it. What do you mean you're still not out of it? Another team dealing with a cap crisis, Toronto. Although it's fun to laugh at them and their inability to get past Boston, I must admit Wonderboy GM over here is doing some work navigating around these treacherous waters. The first issue, Nikita Zaitsev. One of the worst contracts in hockey today, and a guy who has demanded a trade out of town gets his wish. Only problem for him, he's going to Ottawa. Him and Connor Brown being shipped off for the literal pylon known as Cody Ceci. He's overpriced, but it's only for a year instead of 5 at least. Next, Patrick Marleau. Dubas got out of that one, but he paid a very steep price to Carolina and a first-round pick to do it. This is a little depressing, Toronto. Here, have a high-profile trade to bring in Tyson Barrie and Alex Kerfoot. We even get out of Nazem Kadri's contract as well. Shit, Colorado is even retaining half of Barrie's salary. How generous of them! The Leafs have succeeded in re-signing Kerfoot and retaining Andreas Janssen and Kasperi Kapanen, but the main objective has always been Mitch Marner. No progress on that front, and there may not be for a while. They still need to make another move or two to clear the cap room. Although Jason Spezza in a Leaf uniform is a bit weird. Montreal doesn't want to be one-upped by them, however. They too are big game hunting. Although Matt Duchene was unsuccessful for the Habs, they had another plan. The RFA market. It's considered as taboo even though it's perfectly legal, but Bergevin does not care. Sebastian Aho is at an impasse with Carolina over a contract, so why not swoop in? It's official. We have a contract tendered to an RFA. This is not a drill, remain calm everyone. Reference that this deal will give the Canes a first, second, and third round pick if Aho is going to Montreal. Even though it was apparently easy for Carolina, they didn't have a choice. They matched the contract. Aho is staying a Cane despite the contract being extremely front-loaded. Just be careful when Domi Paling and Kakaniemi become RFAs, Bergie. Buffalo doesn't want to be left out of this party though. They've made themselves some moves. Acquiring Colin Miller to bolster the D-core, bringing Jimmy Vesey back for the lulls. But they brought a key piece back from last year in Jeff Skinner, a true victory for the organization. All it cost them was $9 million per year over 8 years? The fuck? You okay, Sabres? Tell me, does he have incriminating photos of Pagula? Show me on the doll where they touched you. God help the Flyers. The once conservative blip on their radar has been replaced by an old tradition. Being overly knee-jerk for the sake of it. A few moves to get older on defense first, taking on Matt Niskanen's aging contract and helping San Jose's cap situation by acquiring Justin Braun. Their piece de resistance, though, was signing Kevin Hayes, someone to solidify their second line, to a 7-year deal worth over $7 million per year, and a no-movement clause for the first 3 years. No, that is not a typo. It's not even a few weeks into the contract and it's already aging poorly. Remember, friends don't let friends let the Flyers make contract decisions. Please keep shooting yourselves in the foot. I would laugh harder, but the Pens have their own dilemma. A senile old man going back to Carolina mode as GM. The first move made sense, trading Ole Mata. He was a healthy scratch during the playoffs and excess goods. Dominic Cahoon is young and should be good forward depth. The next was branding Phil Kessel as a cancer and shipping him off to be with his BFF Rick Tocchet in Arizona. In return, the perennially underachieving Alex Galchenyuk and a defensive prospect in P.O. Joseph. Once again, kinda made sense. Hot Dog Man will always be a legend around here, but it was time to part ways for both parties. Cap space was cleared, and we all hoped JR wouldn't do anything stupid. He did. Brandon Tanev, decent bottom sixer, fan favorite in Winnipeg. Rutherford paid him $3.5 million per year. For 6 years! Like fuck, you do realize the Pens now have no cap space to sign the 3 RFAs they need to sign, right? They gotta trade another player or two now, and it's probably not Jack Johnson. At least it can't get worse. What the fuck do you mean they signed Tanev to a modified no-trade clause for all 6 years? For fucking hell, what the fuck is going on? Vancouver is an interesting team. I think they can make noise if Thatcher Demko develops as advertised, and they seem to feel the same way. A few moves made to bolster the core of the team, including trading for JT Miller. Should fit in well for the top 6 at least. Their big prize, both figuratively and literally, was Tyler Myers. Not as bad of a contract as I was hoping, only 5 years at $6 million per year. Perhaps that Bobby Lou recapture penalty undid their plans at greater spending. Enjoy that for the next 3 years. I may not understand the Avs retaining salary for Tyson Barrie, but I can't say the future doesn't look bright with that young core. They get to add to it with Nazem Kadri, Jonas Donskoy, and Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. Making a splash move for Andrei Burakovsky to add another jolt too. Colin Wilson even came back at a reduced salary, so at least you have some forward depth now. I expect you to make noise this year. Don't let me down. Chicago, I don't mind you trying to bolster the defense with Ole Mata and Calvin DeHaan. I even like you bringing in Robin Lehner to solidify the goaltending depth, but I have one burning question. Why the hell did you bring back Andrew Shaw? Did you not learn from pining for Brandon Saad that bringing the gang back doesn't work? Thank God for Dylan Strome. The Devils, unlike last season, have chosen to do things in the offseason. It's crazy, I know. First, they get a legit power play quarterback and occasional defenseman in PK Subban. More of a name at this point, but he still offers incredible value on the offensive front. I only wish I could say the same for Wayne Simmons, one of the great power forwards of 2015. It was a low-risk buyout 1 year, but $5 million for it? Yeah, they can wash their hands of it if he's cooked, so I'll take it. Enjoy your free Jack Hughes to inject more excitement into your top 6. This is getting a little long. Time for some rapid fire. Winnipeg, you get to experience the wonders of quite possibly the worst cap crunch in all of hockey, and you have it without winning a playoff round this past year. Nearly everyone is gone because you can't afford them, and there has been no movement on the Connor or Laine front. Have fun. Arizona at least looks interesting with a blend of youth and new vets like Kessel and Carl Soderberg. Then again, we say this about them every year. Maybe new ownership will finally get them some footing. Tampa Bay, you haven't done much either, but Brayden Point looms large for you guys. I look forward to you learning nothing and being embarrassed in April yet again. Detroit, though, hard to get a gauge on. Seems like they're playing long-range game. Time will tell with them. Calgary and Edmonton, it seems, only care about swapping backup goaltenders. Edmonton gets Mike Smith, Calgary nabs Cam Talbot. Why? Who knows? Otherwise, I look forward to the Metro being a bloodbath. What with the Capitals bringing in a bunch of sandpaper guys like Radko Gudas and Garnet Hathaway and Richard Panik. Carolina still looks deadly, and they brought in more depth through a developing youth. It feels good. We're headed for a one-way ticket to Lockout City, aren't we? Yeah, I'm fearing we are. Oh hey, there's St. Louis just chilling in the background enjoying their cup. They honestly may be the smart ones here. Although Boston's just sitting around looking enviously and can't do anything because of their cap, so yeah, there's that.
And they are the champions. Glory, Gloria, Gloria, Gloria. I think I got your number, Gloria.